Okay, guys, adventuring geologist back from Patagonia. Literally been back like 2 days. Today is the actual third day itself. And here I am with the post-trip gear video that I'm going to be doing that I promised in the pre-trip gear video. And we're going to start over here. I've tried to make this video 3 times with my GoPro, and it keeps saying SD card error after 8 to not 10 minutes. So I'm kind of pissed off about that. Definitely going to be trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Um, if you know, shoot me a comment if you've had the same problem with them. It's the Hero 7 White. Anyway, here we go. Get into this. Sleeping bag, the Eureka Silver City 30 degree. I will tell you right now that is the survival rating, not the comfort rating. Has to be. I know it's probably not what it's supposed to be, but I woke up 40-degree weather. This thing I now was really cold. I was shivering. I guess I'm a cold sleeper, so I need a much colder bag, which I have an eye on one. Big Agnes. I'm going to go down. This is synthetic. I'm actually going to make the jump to down because of how well this kept it dry. This is Sea to Summit dry bag. This thing's it says it weighs carry weight of 2 pound 3 ounce. Not quite, but we're out to have it in this. And I've added these two things here to the sleep system. Pillow. This pillow is awesome. It's a cheap pillow. It's not one of the name branders. I just got off Amazon. This thing is the shit. I love it. Didn't have to use this. I woke up cold, but I didn't wake up freezing. I mean, it wasn't like I was camping in the snow, so I didn't have to use this Mylar. But I had it in case I needed it. Oh, moving on. Didn't get to use the poncho as much as I wanted. The stuff I was walking through just would have ripped it to shreds and would have made walking an absolute pain. I was also in a group, so I couldn't take it on and off as much as I wanted. So instead, rain jacket, frog togs, that's why I brought that. Mostly as a windbreak, fantastic as a windbreak. Not as much as a rain jacket, it seemed like. I was just out in it for an excessive amount of time, which was all day long. It seemed like it just kind of soaked through, or maybe it was just the sweat underneath. I don't know it for sure. But great as a windbreak. But I got really cold in this thing sometimes during the rain. Yeah, I got really cold, especially after I got sweaty or wet underneath it. One of the two. So there's that. These gaiters that I mentioned in the the brand is on the tag. Don't know why I didn't look. Hill Sound gaiters, love them, amazing. Gonna do a separate video just on those bad boys in themselves, talking about them. All right, clothes bag. Again, not opening this thing. It's bigger than it actually was in my pack. Don't let this size fool you. It's just on the way back. After we got back to the cabin, it didn't matter if it was packed down super tight or not because I was just throwing everything in a duffel bag. But everything's in here, and the down jacket's also in here. Fantastic, Eddie Barron's down jacket was great. I did take out one thing. I took out the extra base layer that I told you I was bringing, and didn't make it. I just said the heck with it. I'll sleep stinky. Dealt with that. So there was that. But on top of the Sleeping Stinky, I took 2 of those, only took 1 onto the trail, left 1 at the duffel bag. I'm going to do a whole thing on just in this video of everything I left out. But this right here hit the pits at night, so I didn't have to smell them. Fantastic. Sunglasses, self-explanatory. This thing had a thermometer on it. It was at least nice to know how cold it got sometimes. It didn't really drop. I think it dropped below 40 once, and it was high 30s. Journal. Great, it's got some good stuff in there. Hygiene kit, compared to the first one, it is missing the razors, missing the Dr. Bronner's. It's not that I left them out, just used them. So there's that. Repair kit, I didn't have to sew anything, but I did use the duct tape. I will show you what I had to repair. It is insane what happened, that I had to rig up with some duct tape, but it held together, and wow. Okay, jeweler's loop, didn't use this thing. Honestly, I wish I hadn't brought it, but I actually did take that on the trail, so there was that. Alright, getting into this stuff. Tobacco. Ran out of this, picked this up. Virginia tobacco sold in Chile, but you cannot buy this in Virginia. That is hilarious to me. Fantastically funny. Guitar pick made out of wood. Haven't got to use it yet, but I will. I want to see what it sounds like. Rainy day stuck in a tent can get a little boring. Set that over there out of the way. Get into the water containers I brought with me. Nalgene, thing was fantastic. It's got some scuffs and scratches, as you can see. Held up fantastic. In it right now is glacier water. Picked up right out of the stream, that clear. Drinking right out of the water. Drinking right out of the water because it is that clean. It's awesome. This was full of shine, not anymore. Haha. Now it's full of glacier water because that was to make sure that my buddies who asked me to bring it back because they wanted to taste it, get some. This emergency platypus 1 liter, didn't have to use it because that right there held up, which was great. Great. Moving on, microfiber towel. All right, you want to see how big this thing is? It's a freaking washcloth, people. And the thing is that it worked great for cleaning myself. Loved it. Dried pretty quick. Done good. It was easy to get the smell off of it. it's a little smelly now, but it was easy to get the smell off of it. The thing is, I think I'm going to bite the bullet and get one of those pack towels that has like a bigger surface area, but is thinner for drying. Because trying to dry off with this was kind of a pain. Ace bandage, self-explanatory. Let's talk about this right now. I mentioned tried to film this thing. This is the SD card that kept reading error, so I put in a new one, which I tried to film this thing with. And again, it said SD card error. I do not know why, and that is really pissing me off, but I bought the insurance that goes with it, the GoPro Plus stuff, so I'm going to get on the horn with GoPro here shortly and see if I can figure out what's going on. Again, if you know, please let me. Shoot me a comment, please, if you've had the same problem. This watch, fantastic. Did give me a watch tan line, which I got rid of after just not wearing it for 1 day. Yeah, 1 day. All it took, 1 day. Barely even half a day. Fantastic. Loved it. Great time. Solar charging face, so no, I was in plenty of sun sometimes. Okay, Ozark Trail headlamp. What can I say about this? It was fantastic. The battery holds up very well. I charged it once, just kind of gave it a re-up. Just because I had the sun, I was like, you know what? If I got the sun, why not? Because I use a solar charger, which I'm going to get into right now. This puppy right here, which comes with these 4 carabiners. And this, which has its own little solar surface thing. Just a battery power bank. This was fantastic. So, I don't know how you pronounce this, but there it is. 25 watt, fantastic. It done so good. Inside the tent, it was registering it had sunlight, which was awesome. This highly recommend. I got it for $30. It is a bit bulky. I'm sure they make lighter ones. I'm sure they do, but I tell you what, for being able to charge like we do, products like my phone, charge my phone with this thing. I charged my GoPro with it. It was amazing. Charged my headlamp. Having this one thing keeps all my devices going and going and going as long as this is intact and I can get sunlight. It doesn't even have to be great sunlight. It just has to be sunlight. I can charge this, which also has its thing. This thing is super light, so not even an issue. This thing weighs like a pound. I don't care. It's awesome. Well worth the wait. GoPro chest harness. Again, having errors with my GoPro. Really pissed me off. Couldn't get as much footage as I wanted to. I did get some on it, but mostly I used my phone. Earbuds. It's not the actual Beats. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that. This is just an old case that I have. This is just some knockoffs. And there's some cheap ones in there. Took 2 of these onto the trail. Barely used a whole one. I did use a whole one. There's just a little bit left in here. This stuff goes pretty far. It does, and it lasts pretty good. This, fantastic. Love the application of the stick. That was great. Put some on your arm, then rub it all over it. Fantastic. Love that. This was indispensable in Chile because for 3 months out of the year, they have these things, these biting flies from hell, just satanic little shits called tabanos. And these suckers can bite through shirts. I had on like my base layer one day to keep the sun off my arms because I did get burnt a little bit, and fuck, they were just biting right through it. But this kept them off my ears, which was this here Schmog. I said I was going to take 2. Only took 1. Don't regret that. 1 was really all I needed. It was great. I could dip this in water whenever I was hot. Let the water run down around my neck. Oh, it was fantastic. Or on the chilly days, it worked as like a scarf. So that was great. Charging cords that went with solar panel and stuff. Some more. Okay, first aid. Here we go. Didn't use any of the bandages. Even when I got cut sometimes. The only thing I really used out of it was the ibuprofen. And I was sharing it. And so it went so quick. But it lasted the whole trip. I took so much of it that it lasted the whole trip, which was great. I took out some other bandage stuff in here, which was just insane. I'll show you. I don't know what I was thinking to begin with. Toilet paper, self-explanatory. Paracord, great. After the rainy day, get to camp. The following day, if it's not rainy, you know, we strung up a line of this and dried out our clothes. Didn't have to use this. The guides carried actual like forks, spoons, knives, all that crap for us, but had it just in case because I didn't know. This was the one that I left out, so I didn't take it. Carried these with me, you know. These are some Walmart bags, and the plan was to put my boots in these whenever I had to like river cross, so I put them in there so they wouldn't make my pack nasty. That gave up on that. That was just pointless. Bug spray. Those Tabanos did not care at all. I mean, it seemed like it helped keep the ones that weren't that hungry away, but it did not matter. They still got on me, but it probably kept the other bugs away. So good and bad, good and bad. Carmax self-explanatory. Lip aids, coffee, peanut butter. I didn't eat all this stuff. They were feeding us so much crap that I just had no room. Alright. This is what some of this stuff was in. Most of those Ziploc bags were in this bag, but it now has some holes in it because of the metal clamps that came off the Ace bandage. I felt them pop through and stick my finger, so it's probably got some holes in it now. But these are all just cheapos, easily replaceable for $8 for all 3, I think. I don't even know. It's something like that. This stuff, you know, these were good. These were good. I'm probably gonna X-nay them though, and just because I picked up a trash bag from somebody and just used it as like a pack liner because of the rain. I did not have a pack cover because I was planning on using the poncho, which just did not happen, so I'm going to get a light pack cover for those occasions where I can't use my poncho to cover my pack. But when I can, it works so much better than a pack cover. But I'm going to pick one of those up, and I'm also going to have a liner because the trash bag is just awesome. I just want the pack cover just to keep the backpack itself from getting wet, because once that thing gets wet, it gets heavier. There's that. Now, I'm going to get into this right here, which is funny. I had 3 pairs of these whenever I went, and it seemed like every other night someone else was snoring, including me. I did too. So I just dispersed those other 2 with the 2 people I usually end up sharing a tent with. And it was just like, who's going to have to use them tonight? Who's going to be snoring tonight? It was basically just whoever was the most tired from that day, it seemed like. Seat right here, cut out of that pad. Seat. Awesome. Had people asking me to borrow this. It was fantastic. It's a little bulky, but it's so light, who cares? And I didn't take a tent, didn't have to take cookware, so I mean it was a light load, guys. I mean, it wasn't like I was doing all this on my own. We had guides with us. They were carrying stuff. There was established camps along the way, but to be fair, that takes away a little bit. But on the flip side, it makes some other parts of the trip more enjoyable. Now let's get into what I left behind. Left behind one of these, of course, and oh, here's this one that I know I'm going to catch a lot of grief for. I left behind my water filter. They told me I didn't need it. The streams were clean enough, and I believed them because they were straight piping it from the streams into their houses and sinks. This here cigarette roller, just done it by hand, man. Everyone down there was like smoking, so that was really cool. So I kind of fit in with that. Uh, so I X-nayed that. It's more of like a home thing. Belt, X-nayed the belt. Shouldn't have, because by the end of the trip I lost weight. X-nayed the boonie hat. Didn't need that thing. This is the first aid stuff I left behind. Now this one's going to be funny. I brought these specifically because of heartburn, right? Chileans do not like spicy food in southern Patagonia, I found. At least for the ones that I was around. I couldn't even find black pepper to put on my taters. Okay, that was a little southern. I couldn't even find black pepper to put on my mashed potatoes that they were making because it was, quote unquote, a bit too spicy for their palates. So that one surprised me. So I didn't have heartburn really the whole time I was there. I did one day, but that was because I ate a ton of chocolate and peanut butter candy. So there was that. This is just some of the first aid crap I left out. You know, it's the giant bandages stuff. The giant bandages and stuff that was just really just pointless. So there's that. Now let's move on. To the pack itself, because I got to show you this stuff here. What all happened to this? This is the trash bag. You know, I just shoved down inside of this black trash bag. You know how that goes. My mesh part here caught a limb that ripped. This is not the buckle that came on this pack. The buckle that came on this pack busted on the first day. And I will show you what I did and what I walked 30 miles on over the course of 2 days. 3 days. What I walked 30 miles on. This, was it this side? No, it was this side. One of these, yeah, right here. There's a little hole. You can kind of see a little hole starting to form there. But other than that, this pack held up wonderful. I have nothing but good things to say about the Osprey Volt 75. It was a great pack. Wonderful. This thing is not waterproof. This cap is not, which sucked because I had some stuff in here that got soaked. But this part is, but nonetheless, I shoved that in there. The only thing I ended up putting in here, the only thing I ended up putting up here in this top pack was my poncho in my rain jacket because it didn't matter, and I also put that stuff in here. And I had camp shoes. Yes, let me not forget the camp shoes. Where did I put them? Oh, okay. Another thing I brought, camp shoes. I'm gonna get Crocs. These were an absolute pain in the ass to constantly slip on and off. To hell with these. I'm getting Crocs. They'll also be lighter. I'm sure you've heard that pop. Alright guys, back here now. I had to pause the video, so if it kind of jumped on you, that's why. This is what happened to my belt buckle, my hip belt buckle, right? Somehow on the boat ride something happened. The female receiving end busted, right? Like it got stepped on. So it got cracked. It's missing a piece of it. Right, so it got cracked. It's missing a piece of it. So right here it is. Right here's the main part. This is what broke. See, I have a little piece of tape up here. Some of that focus in there. What's going on with the focus on this thing? There we go. This piece here. Piece right there. Right. That had to be worked on. Because it was busted here. Then right there on the back. Right here. Right here. Right here. This is missing a giant section. And it's cracked down here at the bottom. Completely in half. I can do this with it. You can see it bending. Warping. So there's that. This part is fine. Nothing happened to the mail-in, which is a great thing. Because if it had, I've been screwed. But I had my entire pack weight jumping, going through the trail. All of it resting on this belt buckle, that was busted. I walked 30 miles with this in the back of my mind, always thinking this thing's gonna pop, and I'm gonna be screwed. I'm gonna be shoulder carrying all of it. But that right there was it, guys. That's the stuff I took. I definitely have some stuff I'm gonna change out. This sleeping bag, gotta go. I want it down. I need a bigger bag too. Bought that years ago. My shoulders have gotten bigger, so it's a very tight situation. Love that bag. I do want one with the zero gravity harness situation, so we're gonna do that. Definitely gonna do that. I'm gonna get a blow up air mattress. There's some more gear that I feel like I need to get, and I need to buy. I did not take trekking poles, and I regretted that decision. I now fully see exactly how well those things really help. I guess the thing is, I just never done a long enough trek to really see and go through all the changing terrain. Because in Virginia here, most of the terrain's pretty much the same. But I did. I'm going to get some trekking poles, some real good ones. But Adventurous Geologist signing off. Any comments, please let me know. Anything you think, any suggestions on gear that you think I should have. I will keep the videos coming. Anything updates, anything new I get. And there's some gear that I'm definitely going to review heavily. Those gaiters are one of them. The pants, the Zoom Heel pants that I'd never heard of, that is one of them. And anything else that I just see is amazing. That pillow, do a good review on that pillow, because the thing was $10, ultra light. So, Adventure and Geologist signing off. Keep on exploring, people.